just updating everybody in the family with all the different, yeah, it's kind of just crazy stuff. Okay. Is this it? No. It's just updating everybody in the family with all the different, yeah, it's kind of just crazy stuff.
To mute that, go over here, and this just takes me a minute to get this set up, but we are here. We're not we are live this week, so this is good.
Hey,
Yeah, and so let me go start recording here. So go to this computer. Yeah. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Goldfish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, July 18th, 2025. This is Goldfish Report number 1163, and it's our weekly food for the soul with our friend, psychic medium Mark Christopher Nelson. Good to see you, Mark. How
good
are
to see
you?
you. I'm good, Louisa. It's really nice to see you too.
I
And I
just
also want to tell people I saw her in person for the first time earlier in the week, and it was a real privilege. She's just as lovely in person as she is on the show.
Oh, and same with you, Mark. Same with you. You were just so much fun to be with, and such a very nice, sweet personality, on air and off. So absolutely, it
Thank
was
you.
so nice. And not under those circumstances, but hopefully next time we'll have better circumstances
Agreed.
to
Agreed.
meet, yeah, some family stuff. So there's a lot going on this week. Mark, I wanted to talk about the financial news that we have. This big news with the today, the president signing these bills. But before we get into that, because that's a lot of detail, I wanted to give you a chance to ask, to talk about any predictions that you may have, like,
Okay.
either not, domestically or internet, whatever you may have.
Okay. Well, I still do. I mean, I pray for our country. I want our country to be in a good place. I do feel like that all of these bills for crypto are going to create some rather exciting growth. I also think that you're going to see some people, some businesses perhaps failing or struggling, not being able to keep up with the change. I do feel like it's going to be, uh, crypto is already drawing in an enormous amount of money. And that's going to create work, create wealth. And so I want everyone to be prepared for that. I used to be unsure about crypto, but I have since I see it as being something that can create wealth for the average person. So that's something I'm predicting. I think that we'll see by the end of 26, we'll see significant growth. I keep hearing three digits, like, over 100, perhaps by the end of the year. I think that may be a little bit too much for some people, but I feel like that, and what I'm talking about is XRP. That seems to be a focal point. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin, and there's a few other major contenders out there. But I tend to think that Bitcoin is gonna, I don't know. I know it's the biggest show in the house, but I don't know that it's going to stay the biggest show in the house. So because there seems to be a limit to what you can do with it. I could be wrong. There's a lot of people betting all over the place, yay, nay, and all of that. I do feel like that where I hear an explosion in my head where it makes me think that there will be a terrorist attack that is pretty significant. And so I think that's going to occur. And it feels like it is. Um, I keep hearing it's going to be in the New York area, and that there would be other activity in DC. Now that the 4th of July is over, it may be considered, some of these high-profile locations may be considered somewhat softer targets because of the surveillance maybe being diminished or maybe just not as visible. So I think that'll happen. And for the first time, I'm hearing that there could be some trouble in Atlanta. So I guess we all need to be cautious, pay attention to all the things we've talked about, how to be prepared in the event that there is something of a interruption in our ordinary and daily lives. Oh, and of course, too, I still feel like LA is going to have a big significant shake. And if it's not LA, it's like it's got to be Los Angeles part of the feeling the brunt of some of this. And I do feel it's going to happen within the next 30 days. So, I mean, I pray I'm wrong, but I just feel like big shakes. So, there will be some bumps, but I think we get through it. And those are some of the highlights or low lights, depending on how you want to take
Right.
it.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some, well, we've been seeing reports of animals leaving. I can't verify that they're happening now and that these animals are at, in fact, Yellowstone, but there are videos emerging of animals running away, and it just seems like, well, we know how it goes, how um the animals always know in advance. They always
Yeah,
know. We should always follow what they're doing. There's been a lot of earthquakes. I mean, volcanoes. It's really
yeah.
some, this isn't normal. And I'm, I mean, the Schumann frequency the other day was just crazy. Animus and Palantir take over this realm. Ha- I don't know, because I think
Can you explain what you just mentioned? The
Animus.
animus.
I'm reading the chats. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Dan. Hi, Marisha. Hi, Linda. Uh, he asked what is Animus. It's artificial intelligence. It's like a bio API.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so look, I had heard that Trump had taken over Palantir, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have. I think the good is going to win.
I agree.
From the sources that I have. What do you think, Mark?
I agree with you. Sorry, I don't mean to talk over, but
No,
I
it's fine.
agree. While I talked about a couple of potentially disastrous events, we're going to be okay as a country. We'll be better than okay. And I think what will be highlighted is our ability to recover and to rebound from
Mm.
some challenging events.
Right. And you can see how we know how to do that really well. We've been put to the challenge already with all
Yes.
this flooding and everything. Right. Okay. So, um, right. There is a military operation going on in terms of the white hats. There's a lot going on. And this whole thing with the Epstein saga, we're going to call it a saga
Yes.
because just remember that we're still at war. I mean, we're not done. Uh,
Yeah.
this is still a cleanup operation of the deep state. And what is going to be coming out? Look, what happened today is very significant. Let me go to, oh, yeah, Vicky is saying her family's going to be in Southern California this week. Any concerns regarding them? Mark, I don't know if you want to take
I'm
that.
not sure. I would say,
Mm,
if they're in Southern California this week,
mm-hmm.
uh, I would just say be prepared to have a go bag if you need to get out and go. That's really the best. I don't think it's going to be quite that immediate, but I'm going to say the next 30 days. So that can mean tomorrow, but I'm leaning a little bit further out.
Okay. So basically what's happened this week is we had well, before I talk about that, I'll just stay with geopolitical stuff for a minute because I do want to go over the details of what all these bills that the president signed really mean and how significant it really is. I mean, basically the regulation for crypto has just been signed. And this also has to do with the RV. So if you know about the revaluation of currencies as well. So this is really all tied together because the whole banking system's getting a major upgrade. In fact, we just had a deadline on the 14th that the banks, the Fed now switched to the ISO 222 regulation. And the Basel III, meaning that the banks had to have more than in the past, they only needed to have 10% capital reserves on hand for whatever, I mean, all the all the bank loans that they were making with money they didn't have. They only needed to have 10% capital on hand for all the loans that they were making. If anybody else did this, we'd go to prison, honest to
Yes.
God. But the Fed does it and it's okay. But the Fed is a private organization with the board of trustees. They're not a federal organization.
Yeah.
They are our overlords. They are the ones that hold the blackmail, I guess you could say, on everybody else in order to get them to conform and fall into line so they can continue to steal our money, which is really what they're doing. Yeah. So before I get to that, I just wanted to mention that I did a wonderful interview earlier this week with Dr. Michael Hollick, 79 years old, and he's a stage 3 a prostate cancer survivor, and this is his second Boston Marathon that he ran. He's an amazing fellow, and I known him for a very long time. So we did an interview talking about running the marathon. And it's some people run it, some people jog it, some people walk it, and that's all fine as long as you're still moving. But we talked a lot about electrolytes, about our body system, and about like the sneakers you need and things like that, and things that you can do to like why he started to do it. He talked about men who, as you age, drop in testosterone, and so he knew that going out and walking every day would help with this problems that are associated with that. And he found that he was getting himself up to 5 miles a day, blah blah blah. So he that's when he realized he was going to do this. So he's really such an inspiration. I definitely recommend everybody go check out that interview. And I wanted to talk about the all of the different bills that were passed. But before I do that, let me see if there's any questions in the
Sure.
chat. Yeah, let me do that. You take me a minute. Vicky. Oh, other than Vicky, okay, wing makers. It was some Asian aerosites with weapons. Okay. So Dan is talking about. He says here, Animus. Okay, so wing makers gave us 7 ancient arrow sights with the weapons to defeat the Animus Palantir. Interesting.
Well, I know Palantir is one of the programs that can theoretically listen to everything and everybody.
Right. Dan was asking an interesting question. This is for your spidey senses. He's asking if his mother will visit him by July 24th. She's in spirit.
Okay. My sense, Dan, is that she's with you whenever you stop moving. Feels like Dan is pretty much I feel like Dan is very gifted with his ability to stick to schedules, to get things done, to move. I would say that you can expect her when you make a little time for her in your life. And so take a minute, think about, all right, could I leave time, say I'm going to leave time for mom in the morning. I just carve out some time for her and ask her to visit then, and then she will visit. Just give you another example. People want to have someone new in their life, but they do nothing that would facilitate that new person coming into their life. They're wall to wall. They never get out of the house. They've got no time for anybody. The universe picks up on that kind of stuff. The universe says, "Oh, you really don't want anyone in your life because you haven't carved out a space. There's not so much as a smidge of space in your closet. You go to sleep so be prepared to make some changes so mom can spend a little quality time, leave a little open space."
Oh, that's very nice. I'm not saying an altar, but there should be, it might be helpful. And someone suggested this to me, and I have more or less done it, but I could do it better, was make a little space that you go to that's just got like mementos of the person
Yes.
that you kind of go and visit that energy. It's not an altar, but um it's not a shrine, but it's like you get the idea, right? What would you call it, Mark?
Well, what I would call it is that you're experiencing something called psychometry, which
Mhm.
is that you're in connection with either physical objects of the person you miss, and I
Mhm.
believe these objects that he or she wore in life used will have some of their energy with them. So dad's car keys or watch, mom's bracelet, hold those things. And also to just the pictures, the visuals. It's also realize that you are communicating all the time with people in spirit on the other side, even if you're not aware of it. They come to visit you. So if they see you, realize that you're dealing with a conscious being. Mom's a conscious being, dad's a conscious being. That when dad sees you, mom, whoever it is, sees you making arrangements to speak to them, or you are on there, or your loved one is on your mind, they know about it in advance. They don't need for you to say, Mom, come in now. They just know. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Okay, that's helpful. That's good. Um, mm, let's see if anyone else has a question here while I'm through there. Okay, yeah. He said thank you very much. What's July 24th? Is that a special time? Was that her birthday? Maybe that might be an important date. Yeah.
What I see,
So,
well,
oh,
just
I'm sorry, go
briefly,
ahead.
no, no, I'm sorry, I'm reacting. I'm a little slow, but I feel like that the 24th may be, it feels like it was either like a critical anniversary or something like that. But she doesn't need that to show up. She just needs to know that you want to be there. You want to have a conversation with her. And to do that, you also need to slow down and let her just realize it's almost like you have a lot of loud voices, a lot of big things in your mind, Dan. But if you're not putting yourself in a position to hear a whisper from someone you love, you may miss it. So create that quiet space so that you don't miss something less than a scream. Okay?
It's not easy. It's so thick and dense down here.
Of
It's
course.
really, I don't know. It's so easy for you, Mark, but it's,
No,
and
no.
but I mean, it's happened to me. They actually grabbed me from the other side, basically, and were like, "Whoa, you need to." I mean, I know, I understand what it's like for you because I had, someone from the other side did grab me a hold of me and said, "You need to give somebody a message for me," and I did, and the person their eyes were like bugging out because I just walked up to her on the street and I knew exactly who they wanted me to it was a young girl and she just they wanted her to stop smoking. And I said, "Someone on the other side wants you to stop smoking. Do you understand?" She's like, she was like in shock with her mouth hanging open. She's like, yeah, so let me know if you yeah, so that's what was going on. It was kind of crazy. But I understand it. That's different. I think they really, went out of their way to get my attention. And,
Sure.
I mean, sometimes, they have to do that. They have to really go out of their way to get your attention because, we're I don't know, I kind of just feel that um sometimes it's not the same for everybody. I mean,
No,
some people's lives are more hectic, like mine. It's very hard
well, I believe you.
to sit and make time to do, that kind of quiet. I used to be able to do it, but it just got too hectic. I just, lost my own space, my own time to do that, unfortunately. So,
Well, I use this idea of a 7-minute vacation.
mhm.
That the idea is like people say, because I really do think meditation is critical. But do you need to spend an hour meditating? Shit, no, I don't have a time to. I'm going to back out of my life for an hour right now. Same time every day? No, but try 30 seconds, try a minute, then see if you can't build yourself up to minutes. And when you can do that, it allows you to extricate yourself from the daily grind, the daily events that you have to manage, hold, juggle. When you can step out of it through meditation, it gives you that chance to quiet your mind and then to receive some meaningful information. That's how it works.
Uh-huh. The I guess the good thing is to right. Start out with just 10 minutes, even if you're not making a connection, you're making the time and then just kind of build it up. That's a really great,
2
that's a great
minutes.
idea. But I have to tell you, that's exactly, I mean, that's kind of the approach that Dr. Hollick was giving, was talking about, because he just kept saying to himself, okay, it's just 1 more mile. And he kept getting himself through the whole thing. But if you tell yourself, oh my God, I have 24 miles ahead of me,
No.
no, that's way, way, way too big. So you have to try a little trick psychology on yourself when you're in that situation, and you just say, you just break it down into more digestible pieces, right? Digestible time frame in your case, in our case with the
Sure.
well, that makes perfect sense. Let me just check in again, because I do have I am ready to talk about these other topics. Let's see. Linda. Okay, so Linda, hi, welcome, Linda. She says the weather in Austin in August, any more storms? Going to see, she's going to going to see sister-in-law. So let's see.
I don't see anything akin to I do think there's going to be a tropical storm within the next couple days, I think it is, or a week.
Mhm,
But I don't see it as being anywhere near as cataclysmic as the last one.
mhm,
I hate to say it, but I think there's weather manipulation afoot. And I don't know that they need to exercise or put the energy into creating another similar disaster in the very same place.
mhm.
Just doesn't seem like how they, people who manipulate the weather, prefer to operate. So I would say I mean, rainy, yes. And the idea then everyone is afraid of something going out of control again. But I don't think it's going to be a disaster at all.
What do you make of this? All these like massive floods, though. I mean, these aren't, how many times a year can you have a 1,000-year storm?
Well, apparently lots earlier than a
In North
thousand years.
Carolina, apparently,
Oh,
several times a
God.
year, right?
Well, I do feel like that this is out of the norm, and it feels like that we are being manipulated.
Mm,
Feels like that there is real estate grabs. I know this is not news to anybody, but it feels like this to me. I mean, I'm not just trying to be the conspiracy psychic. I feel like that this is for real.
yeah.
There really is someone. There's a group of people who can benefit from some rather great displacements. And that's what they're doing with the weather.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely there's a connection with raw minerals, and it's really what they're after, these
Yeah.
raw minerals. And it seems to be a common element that is near these flooded areas, severely flooded areas, with the exception of Jersey. There can't be anything good underneath
Ah.
this ground except some asphalt and tunnel systems. But anyway, I can't imagine. Um, yeah, Dan is asking if Orisha has a message for him.
Mauritia.
Orisha,
Um, oh,
Oya, or something.
Mauritia, I feel like that, Dan, there's this thing about doing blood tests. I don't know if you've had to do any in the past. If you're due to get it done, I see like a pinprick finger. The other thing too is Mauritia, it feels like I salute you. I appreciate you. There's like a hug connected to all of this. But I saw like a little pinprick. So if you think that go get your blood tested if you have any questions. You haven't done it in a while. If it's coming up, stick to your schedule. Go get that done.
Okay,
Looking out
interesting.
for you. It's about being there for you. And maybe Dan, just one last thing.
Sure.
I see like a salute in here. So I'm not sure if this is someone that he knew through service, but I got that. So if it's not, I know Dan is anyway. Just want to. It feels like there may be a military connection.
Wow, you don't know. Okay, never mind. I'll just let it leave it at
Let's leave
that.
it alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have a question for Mark, please feel free to type it in the chat. Include your first name and also the first name of the person that you're inquiring about. We're going to talk a little bit about what has been going on in the news. Three bills just passed the House. Well, actually, the president just signed the Genius Bill into act. Actually, I think all three of them. Let's break it down. So each of these bills changes the U.S. crypto landscape. The XRP is perfectly positioned to benefit from all three, if you have it. The Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, and the Genius Act. And the funny thing is that they really weren't going to pass it. And then they had Trump called them in for a little meeting and I guess reminded them of some leverage he has. And then they
Oh, yes,
voted.
sir. Yes.
Then
Yes.
they voted. Yep. And that's what that's about there. It's all about leverage. And Trump is such a master deal maker here and he knows. So the Clarity Act is the regulatory unlock. Okay, so this bill defines when a token transitions from a security to a commodity. So XRP has already been ruled not a security in the secondary market. So now Congress is giving that clarity teeth to this. So exchanges can relist XRP without the SEC. That's what
Hey,
that's important with that. Also, institutional adoption becomes easier, and Ripple gains confidence in the U.S. operations. Ripple is the company that owns XRP. But Ripple is a network. It actually is preparing to purchase the Swift system, which is huge.
wow.
Yeah, and so they will replace Swift. So they will be the mechanism, the Internet of Value. They will be moving the internet, the value through the internet on the Ripple system using XRP. XRP is going to become the I guess you would say global reserve currency. So it's not any one country. Everybody gets to take XRP and then convert it into their own local currency.
Can
So
you
that's
can you mention you gave me a really wonderful explanation of how the Ripple network ties into XRP. It's like, are they little
right. So the
train?
Ripple network, you can think of Ripple as train tracks that stop at every country and every bank along the way, and XRP is the train. So XRP, as you know, the train doesn't get off there. It just stops there. It stops at the train station at let's say you know Mellon Bank or Santander Bank or Chase or whatever, or it's the treasuries of United States or the treasuries of Germany or any other country, Australia, Hong Kong. They all have their own different currencies individually. But when you're doing settlements, they're only going to be using XRP. So XRP is the train that's going to stop at every bank or every stop along the way to settle any cross-border payments and transactions.
Mhm.
And when they do that, they just take XRP and they convert it into their local currency, and that's how they receive the value. Because the XRP has the value, it's inherent. It's at 340 today. If you were lucky and bought it at 10 cents, you can be doing really well. Probably could afford to buy a lot of it. Um, but Ripple is a network. It isn't simply just the train tracks.
Yes.
It forms the blockchain, and it's not the only network on the blockchain though. So there's other networks on the blockchain as well. And so what you have nodes. So all the information, instead of a centralized system, it's a decentralized financial system.
Mhm.
So all the information and transactions are stored in the nodes, the individual nodes. So it can't be hacked without someone like God, hacking it, I'm saying, because it's extremely difficult to try to hack that and change it. It's digital. It's run by an AI, a quantum computer. It's run by So therefore it's transparent. You can't hide money anymore, but we're about to start having some major financial changes. I mean, Trump has promised to be the crypto capital of the world. This is how we're going to make our comeback globally in terms of having global strength
Huh.
again. Pardon?
No, just me choking.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Having global strength, and he wants to be the global leader in cryptocurrency. And so far he's he's doing just that. And let me just continue. So the SEC lawsuit that they had against Ripple was kind of there to uh one, I think, to chase out retail investors, because this is, I think, ultimately, um my understanding was that it was intended for institutional use. So that's exactly who I mentioned, the banks and the global treasuries, institutions, Bank of International Settlement, things of that nature. But they're part of the problem anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah. So uh so XRP would be that utility that would provide that that function, that cross-border payment settlement function, and not just like in 5 days. You know how long it takes to do international transfers? Like a long time. And there's so many fees because there's so many banks along the way. And by the time the money got there, it was a chunk of it was missing. But it was inefficient, so we're really going from like an analog you know, should I say like an 8-track dating myself, an 8-track cassette deck to digital Wi-Fi. I mean, it's totally revolutionizing the financial industry, because the one we were currently using is a Ponzi scheme, and it is really bottoming out. I mean, it is dead.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve, you can't lend money. I mean, how can you lend money? So the Basel III is, if you don't have it, right? But the Basel III, they allow it. They make the rules. So Basel III says you have to have 30% um, capital in order to make loans. I think it's going to go up even higher. Obviously, why shouldn't you have, like, I mean, I can't collect money from somebody that I didn't loan them, but
No.
they can collect money that they didn't loan. It's just amazing. It's amazing how, zero money out of nothing, right? They create money out of nothing. So let me keep going with this real quick, and then we'll go back to the chat. So that was the Clarity Act. Now the anti-CBCD, I'm sorry, CBDC, which is central bank digital currency, we don't want that. So this
No.
is the anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, which means protection from tyranny. So the bill bans the Fed from launching a surveillance-style CBDC that can track, freeze, or control individual wallets. Now, look, we all know what the plan of the deep state has been. They have to tell us what they're doing, and they have. And that has given us an advantage. This is all really strategy and game theory operations.
Yeah.
So, but the light never tell you what they're going to do. In fact, Trump confuses them so much that nobody knows what Trump's really doing. But you have to know he's up to something when he starts to say, oh, you still talking about those Epstein files? Why are you still talking about the Epstein files when we have, floods and people of this? All right. So he's playing a game. This is 5D, this is actually like 6D chess here, right?
Uh-huh.
So let me get back to this. So this is protection from tyranny. So this bill bans the Fed from launching the surveillance style retail CBDC that can track, freeze, or control individual wallets. I just said that was something that the Rockefellers planned, that Aaron Russo had done an interview with Alex Jones talking about this and warning people that they're really planning this and that they can control who buys and sells. And it's biblical. But it
Yeah.
looks like, look, there's intervention. God says, if you call me by my name, in all of your heart, repent your ways, I will help you. I will save your country. It says this in the Bible, not in those particular words, but close to it. It says here, but it doesn't stop innovation, it redirects it. So banks can issue private stable coins. Stable coin is a coin that's backed by something. backed by gold, silver, whatever it may be. Okay. But it has to be backed by something. That's why they call it stable. It's stable because it's
Yeah.
backed by something. Exactly.
Yes.
Bitcoin's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by treasuries. It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by anything. So now what you're seeing is a lot of people with these Bitcoin wallets that are starting to drop their their Bitcoin. These accounts are starting to become active again, and they're putting that money back on the exchange, meaning they're selling it in order to get their money because it will not meet these regulations. Bitcoin cannot meet these regulations. So if you have it, you might want to consider that in what you're doing there. So,
One question is
yeah.
I believe that and you can correct me and say yes, no. XRP will have this 2000 certification. What is the name of that certification
Oh, it's
again?
ISO 222. That's
ISO.
International Standard Organization, and the 222
And so
20022 is the new regulation standard. It's a new standard. It's a protocol standard. It's
so
like it's a
then
new interface. What it is, it's a new banking interface.
yes.
So that's what it means. So that's why a lot of people had received messages from their banks that during the time of July 11th to the 13th, their bank was going to be unavailable to do online banking because they were transitioning to a new online interface, and that means it's the ISO 222.
And so if you're in the ISO 222, does that mean well XRP in order to qualify to be included within that I don't know what if you would call it a group or a standard, you have to have backing of either silver or gold, isn't that it?
Let me find it. Let me see if I can get it
Because I have
for
relatives that are
us.
telling me, no, XRP is not included in gold. And then I've read that actually, or it doesn't backed by anything. But then when I see that to
It
be
does.
one group, it has to have something. So I don't know if it's in transition, it's coming, or is it happening, hasn't happened.
XRP is going to be backed by gold, and XLM is backed by silver. Here, I'm going to show it to you. Take a look. This is the chart.
Thank you,
I'll
Louise.
Yeah, no problem. So this is the top ISO compatible tokens and their roles in real world finance. XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, which is Algorand, IOTA, QNT, and HBAR. It's funny because these all provide different services, but we'll get into it. So it says here the ISO 222 is the new global standard for electronic financial messaging. It allows for richer, more structured data in transactions and aims to connect financial institutions, central banks, and now certain cryptocurrencies. While ISO 222 itself is not a coin, several blockchain projects are building their ecosystems to comply with this messaging standard, positioning themselves as key players in the future of regulated digital finance. I just wanted to I need to move this little box here, so hopefully everybody can see this better. So here you have XRP. Can you see it okay, or should I try to
No, it
enlarge
looks
it a
great.
little
I can
bit?
see it
Let me
very
just see.
well.
Oh no, I don't think there.
I can
Is
still
that
read it.
bigger? Is that a little
There
bit
you
bigger
go.
now?
Bigger is better. Yes.
Bigger is bigger? Yeah. So here you have XRP leading ISO 222 adoption with fast, low-cost cross-border payments and strong banking partnerships. As I said, Santander and uh, was one of them. But it's any bank, it's whatever. So XLM, so XRP is the Ripple network. Well, it's made by Ripple. It's actually the Flare network, but I don't want to get too confusing there.
No.
Flare, yeah. But Ripple is a network. There's some relationship between XRP, Ripple, and Flare, and I have to sort that out. But XLM is on the Stellar network. This focuses on remittances and financial inclusion with partnerships like MoneyGram and Circle supporting USDC on its networks. That's United States, I guess, a digital, it's the US dollar coin, I guess is what they wanted to call it right now. This may change though. Algo is Algorand, like I said, and used in national digital currency projects known for speed, sustainability, and ISO aligned architecture. These are, by the way, all coins that you can purchase on like Uphold, that's one of the exchanges, or Coinbase. If you, depending on what country you're in, you know, there's different exchanges where you can go to buy cryptocurrency. So these are all available usually on like Uphold or, like I said, Coinbase. The XDC network is it targets trade finance with tokenized invoices and nearly feeless transactions used in global supply chain pilots. QNT is Quant Network, and this enables blockchain interoperability via overt ledger, connecting legacy finance systems, which currently exist, to blockchain infrastructure. This is going to allow banks to what's going to happen is banks are going to be able to now use crypto holdings as what do you call it, collateral for for you know, as an asset when people are, you know, doing banking businesses, you know, loans, things of that nature. It'll be considered an asset.
Well, just so everybody knows too, why is talking about crypto anything to do with food for the soul? To me, I feel like that this is a spirit. There's a spiritual change happening, and it affects your ability to make money, to take care of your family, to pay for things. Um, while in so many ways, as a spiritual person, you don't want to be of the world. We have to live in the world, and so this, I think, does create opportunities for people who maybe missed out on building a huge portfolio. I think that there would still be time if you make a couple of good decisions, only invest money, I think initially that you're willing to potentially lose or lose a small portion of it. And but I do feel like that this is part of a spiritual change in our world where you know, whereas the old days used to be a handful of people could run the world. I mean, literally a handful of people could change the way the rest of the world banks conducts business. An example, the people who started the Federal Reserve all used to go to this little place called Jekyll Island, Georgia, where they had a hunt club. I actually went into the room where they formed the Federal Reserve. And while this room held 8 people, something like that, a small group, at the time they controlled 40% or 50% of the world's wealth. So the objective of this is that we don't, I think that in this new age, this new time, I think that the divine wants to spread this income, this wealth out a little bit because it feels counterproductive to have such a small handful of people dictating um, living conditions to the rest of us. So that's why I feel it's worthwhile talking about this to understand what's coming, because whether you like it or not, or you understand it or not, it is coming. And so better to be aware than to wander around going, I have no idea what that crypto means. It really is exciting and it's amazing.
That's why I do talk about it on the reports. I don't make the whole report about it, obviously, but by bringing it up, we're getting ourselves ready for this change. And you could just read the other two. I don't know if you wanted me to just read that real quick, because I know there's a couple of questions here
Let's do a couple of
waiting
questions.
for you. But here, IOTA is designed
Okay.
for the Internet of Things, supporting real-time, feeless microtransactions in smart city and industrial use cases. Smart city, yeah, we're gonna watch that, aren't we?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
HBAR, yeah, enterprise focused with top tier governance, powers CBDC pilots, and offers ISO ready consensus services. This is another one. So we have to, you know, everyone should be watching what's going on with that. And there was more regarding the these laws and bills that were passed, but let's just go to our chat right now and see what questions we have here, because we have yeah, okay, Dan, I see that. Took a picture of her long ago. Okay, Bjorn, yep. So Jane Hoffman has a question. Hi, Jane. So why does my youngest daughter, Caroline, need from me to improve our relationship?
Um, well, it looks like she's hanging on to some anger almost out of habit. So, in terms of what you need, what she needs, I think to be heard, and it almost feels like letting her vent may be a good step. It doesn't mean that you're going to agree. It doesn't mean that you tacitly agree to the things she's going on and on about. That's not it. It is the process of allowing her to speak, to get it off her chest. And then some of the issues you can address, but it's to be heard. That's what she needs. Also, I feel like that there's a bit of a financial crunch for her. So I would first try to open the door to letting her say exactly what she wants, and then giving her a chance to giving you a chance to respond to some of this. I'm supposed to tell you too, don't be too defensive about all of this. I don't know that she's going to take it all literally as the things that you need to fix in order for her to be okay. But she needs to uh, blow out some stuff, and then you can have a better conversation and begin. This is not the answer. It's not the end. It's the beginning of talking.
Okay, there we go. I hope that helped. Let's go to another question here. Sunny's back. She says, anything for me, Mark? Any messages for Sunny?
Um, oh, what is it? Your daughter Casey says, um, I want she it feels like Casey is pushing you out the door. Casey says, go out, be yourself. Please keep going. She also says, I have such faith in you. And it's like, please do not lose faith in yourself. I have such faith in you. That's what Casey says. So what that means in a general sense, don't be too self-conscious. Go out and embrace this outdoor life, right? Go be in the spotlight a little bit. But Casey, it feels like she walks right behind you, if not holding your hand. And it's a lot of love. And she just big hug. And that also too, she knows how much you've kept her in your thoughts, and she appreciates it.
Okay. Linda said she had to go. She'll listen to the rest in the morning over coffee. Thank you. Thanks, Linda, for watching. Yeah, so thanks for the questions that you've had. Vicky, are you still there? If you do, did you have any other questions? Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah. So, so these bills were passed into law. This is, going to be a good thing for people who are tech savvy enough to kind of keep up with these things. And let me just explain something about uh, there's some people who are aware. There are people who apparently time travel, and they came back to tell us about um, this uh XRP. I think at that one point it was called like Open Coin or something, but
Mhm.
it says XRP will go on now to become a world digital currency. The USA will not have a bank-controlled CBDC to oppress people's freedoms. That's why, so some people might know this man, Mr. Poole, who was on X for a period of time, was there, and his time travel team came back. This is why he came back. The market acceptance will be rapid, like for mobile phones or personal computers. Greatest transfer of wealth in modern history to tech-savvy internet people. And so the world was changed. So Hillary never became president. Thank God. The World Economic Forum never made us into slaves by their great reset. Thank goodness. And instead, we will have a freedom-loving reset and to trust the plan. Now, this is from the Caltech scientist who decodes the triple binary code on crop circles. And
Wow.
he's
All right,
actually,
that's a lot what you just said. That's like I didn't know any that was even possible.
yeah.
So, wow.
Well, because the powers that be want us all to think that the men with boards made all these crop circles, but that's not the case.
No.
No, there's advanced beings that have, we have to understand that they exist, and that in some ways there have been positive and negative ones, and they have interfered with our development to some extent. And I think this is where we're on a different timeline, and we have to realize there's something called timelines that nobody has been taught about, and certain events can change the timelines, and that's exactly what's happening. So, one of the things while I'm waiting for anyone else to ask a question, we only have a few minutes left. I just wanted to go over some information that I had. Don't worry, these Epstein files are going to be released. And we have, because patriots are getting frustrated about it, but you have to understand this is a chess game right now.
Yeah.
When Trump flip-flops, he's playing an important game to expose the coup that happened. That's about what's getting ready to happen. You saw today that Tulsi Gabbard made an announcement. In fact, I'm going to screen share it because everybody should know about this. She made an announcement that just open up another X window about this coup, this Russia hoax, the Russia collusion was really a coup d'etat against Trump. And so here we have National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard just declassified proof of treason by President Obama.
Oh, please. Well, wow.
I
Good.
mean, we knew this, but now it's kind of like the evidence is astonishing. U.S. Intel admitted Russia did not hack the 2016 election. Obama pushed the Russia hoax to sabotage Trump. In fact, the whole Russia hoax was manufactured. It wasn't there wasn't real evidence. They manufactured everything that they cited. The Steele dossier was fake, but Comey used it anyway. I guess whose daughter was just fired from, she was a prosecutor in New York, Southern District, who oversaw Ghislaine Maxwell's case, and also P. Diddy was Comey's daughter, Maureen Comey. So also Brennan and Clapper entrenched the hoax deep into the intel community and punished whistleblowers. The corporate media was used to launder fake government propaganda relentlessly. And the Russia probe was an insurrectionist plan to take down Trump. They knew Russia didn't interfere in the election, yet they fabricated intelligence to justify a years-long effort to overthrow Trump. This was a deliberate campaign of treason aimed at removing a legitimately elected president. So the treason is exposed, and we have the names, and now it's time to hold them accountable. This wouldn't have happened in the past. I mean, this is the leverage that Trump has, the whole Epstein file. So this is what happened. They knew Trump was going to become president. They knew Trump was going to get a hold of. When Trump says the deep state created the Epstein list, he's correct, because it's their own list. It's their list. But what they did was they ended up putting so they ended up inserting white hats into this list in order to try to take them down. So if you're going to, so they actually tried to remove most of the names on the list and insert other people who are on the Trump team or the white hat team, so forth. So you will see these so this is what we need to be prepared for. This is the intel that I'm getting on this is about exactly what I just I have reported, that they infiltrated the list, in other words, and this is why it's being withheld. We're not just talking about a list with a few names. We're talking about, it's almost possible a million people, because Epstein is not just about trafficking. This is about all the systems used to manipulate humanity and how they were kept in control. This is huge. This is so huge. So it's going to be little by little by little, we're going to start seeing this come out. They keep saying Lara Trump was out there but the US government's going to be releasing files. The DOJ says they're going to be releasing files. Because the deep state created this list to track everybody. So that's how we know that they created the list, because these are the people who they wanted to
Wow.
track.
Mhm.
Okay. It's really bigger than people can imagine. We're talking of the top elites, we're talking tens of thousands. And I mean, folks, these are people you trusted and even held in high esteem. Not anymore.
Wow.
But the White Hats captured the operations, and they're using the United States Space Force, and also this advanced tech, almost living, intelligent and technology that the United States Air Force has, that's under Mount Hayes that we keep talking about, and the NSA has everything. And the fact that John McAfee, you have to realize John McAfee played a very big part in this whole plan, this whole operation, because almost every computer in the world has his antivirus software on it.
Yeah.
But he put backdoors in that. He's the one, talk about Palantir. He's got everything on everybody. When Trump in his first term says we have it all, we have all the servers, he did. He had it. He has all of it. So these are military ops, as you may know. They were using the viruses like Stuxnet and Zeus to track all the computer systems, even into the World Bank and everywhere else. So when you have a virus, it can read everything in your computer and send it back. Whatever the directions, whatever the code is written in the virus is what it's going to do. These are super intelligent computers used by the military. And so what's happening is Trump is blaming Obama for the coup, Russiagate. It was the Epstein list is actually a trap that was set by the deep state, because what they did was they did take over the list, all this information, whether it's a list or many lists or whatever the evidence suggests. But today they're talking about releasing the grand jury transcripts related to this. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of good people's names are in there because Obama changed them. They put them there. So you have to be careful. I don't know how they're going to handle that, but Trump will start to release this stuff, and they will be starting, different podcasters, different people will start receiving information that will be, this even goes to J6 and how they this was all part of an attempted coup on Trump. It's all of that. It's all going to be coming out, even the deep state running ops with regard to the pandemic. So all this is going to come out little by little, but it's going to create, and I think, Mark, you started out at the beginning of the program talking about your forecasts, and you were stating that you saw some explosions. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do think that
Like
we're going to
retaliation.
see some political, not political, military actions in and around the country. I think it may look like they would use the idea of terrorist, when in fact it may be more complicated than that. There would be factions within the United States government that may be, um, God, it looks really messy. I think that we have to be careful about jumping to conclusions over who we think are the ones responsible for some of the bad things that are going to happen. But I hear explosions, and I feel like that they're going to be doubling down, and there could be some really nasty, terrible things coming up in terms of conflict. So don't jump to conclusions. Be prepared to withstand a little bit of trouble for a while in terms of supply chain things you need. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. And as you know, the volcanoes are going off everywhere. It's just, a lot's happening. The Schumann frequency was totally white out. So I mean, we're talking, I don't know how anybody slept, because I certainly didn't.
I
It was
actually I had a rotten night's sleep. I thought it was just me with my cold or my chest.
no, it's definitely the actually I'm going to show you. I'll show you what it looked like, and it's really intense. It doesn't usually look like this. but this was the latest one that I published. Check this out. I mean, it's just completely white out. That's some intense frequency going on there. What exactly this all means, it just means that you know what happened? This usually correlates too with the sun activity. I have the sun had what was 103 or 130-mile long filament erupt off of it. So it's called a coronal mass ejection.
Wow.
And that solar wind, I mean, it's full of all kinds of particles, gamma rays. It's full of neutrinos, probably all kinds of um, you know, uh, intense energy that we're not used to.
Mhm.
And it wasn't earth facing, but I don't think there was any way we could get away with, from not being part of that somehow. Um, if you want more information about the topics we talked about tonight, just come to my Twitter page or X page, and you'll get more of that information, far more information than we have time to even talk about right here. I was looking for something regarding, yeah, I was looking for something, but I don't have time to get into all of this. It's just way too much. And what I wanted to do is share, yeah, these are all the earthquakes around Mount Rainier. So this is
Wow.
over 750. This is getting ready to go. I was going to show you a picture of a van where they caught this van in New York City, and it had like 100 containers of, I'm sorry for scrolling. I really hate scrolling. Yeah, this is what happens to your brain on methylene blue. I don't know if it's bad to have a blue brain,
Well,
but it does turn it blue. But a lot of people think it gives you much better cognitive function. So,
I'm
it,
using it myself, and so far, I would say I lean towards it being positive. And if someone has my brain out on the table and is going, "Oh, look, it's blue," I
right,
probably won't be too worried about it at that given time.
right. So I just wanted to show that. So here it is. This is something else I was talking about. This was, if you just looking from the picture, you can see this is a very old Apple computer, PowerBook. What does it
Mhm.
say? 3400. This was a time traveler. This is somebody who says next month our princess will die. So I guess they knew that um this is from a time traveler, by the way. That was, I guess, Diana. So what was that? 80
96?
what
96?
was that, 96, 97, right? So it says here, everything you see was completely planned. Only time that you will realize you know who Mr. Poole is. The guy who came back from 2040. Today is July 16th, 1997. Does that say 16th? Yeah. I'm writing you all to my folks. Okay. I do not know how to explain this to you, but if you heard of something about OpenCoin, you must invest your time and money in it. This company will transform into a world financial business, and you will be filthy wealthy person in the world. I'll be missing you. Signed out Friday at this time. So
Wow.
so there's definitely time travel stuff going on with this. And this is why this person had communication with these individuals that I had read before,
Hmm.
talking about this. This is the one who decodes the crop circle, the triple binary code that's in the crop circle. So it's very interesting stuff. But anyway, let me just see if there's any last questions. Otherwise, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us, Dan. I appreciate it. And no, I don't see any other questions. So if you are interested in having a reading with Mark, this is his website here. This is marknelsonmedium.com.
Get
It's
frozen
just,
there, I
I
guess.
know it's nothing I could do about it. Oh, that's not the right one. That's not
We're
the one
getting
I
there.
selected. Do you see it? Oh, let me try it again.
Your toolbar is like over the URL too for some
I
crazy.
know it's very slow. So
I
could
can say
be,
marknelsonmedium.com. That's me.
oh boy, it's just not working. Like Zoom isn't working. We're
Well, I
all
can say,
frozen.
oh, marknelsonmedium.com. My lips are not frozen. Come see me.
Here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, there's this black box on it for some reason. It's like blocking it out.
Just a little, yeah, there's that's the screen share box. Let me see if I can move it. Let me see. No, it won't let me move it. Sorry.
Of course not, but anyway,
There's like a little black box. I'm
marknelsonmedia.com.
sorry. There's nothing I can really, let me see if I can, hold on. How about if I do that?
Better. We're in
Yeah.
business.
Okay. Oh,
Cooking with
so
care.
now it condenses. So it collapsed now. Let me see if I can move it back up. Okay. Yeah, marknelsonmedium.com. You can come here. You can the menu at the top, you can read about his work, make appointments, and there's special offers too. And this is a great gift for people, folks. If you know someone's truly open to receiving these messages, it's a really great gift, especially if somebody just lost someone recently and they're looking to, you know, heal. This is
Yes.
how you do it. This is about healing. This is food for the soul. This is how, we have to be in this world, but we don't have to be of it. And Mark
Yeah.
shows us this and shows us how, that can be done. So Mark, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was good to see you again.
Good to see you
I
again, Ray.
hope you're feeling better soon.
Yeah, I'm praying I do too, because it's been
Yeah.
oh well. Hey, just
Hmm.
this is the smallest
Sound
of potatoes compared to what some people are carrying.
yeah, you sound a little better than you did earlier in the week, or yeah, but it does still sound a little bit, yeah. It's who knows what they're spraying on us too.
Sleep
God only
sounds
knows.
like a lovely thing.
So everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your questions. And we'll see you all next week, next Friday
For
on
sure.
Food for the Soul. So thanks so much for joining us. And this concludes this edition.